Going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday. I know I was out Monday. Things have been a little hectic around here, getting ready for this move. For those of you who don't know, we are moving to Utah, and now that everything's starting to open back up, um, most bases, all except for like I think three locations or states, we're authorized to move. So that's what we're doing. We're getting ready to move. So how's everybody doing? I hope we're all doing great, as good as I am. But I'm not here to talk about how I'm feeling. Here to talk about something else. So over the last few days, I've been like watching all sorts of stuff. I've been connecting with some interesting people from all over the U.S. And Canada, as a matter of fact, through a couple networking sites and referral groups that I'm a part of. And one thing that came up in a conversation with one of the individuals was the topic of why you are where you are today. So I would ask that question, and I really want you to think about, the reasons you are where you are right now in this point in your life. Now, this conversation is pretty much only meant for those who didn't say because of my own decisions. Um, a lot of folks fail to realize that everything that happens, yeah, maybe happens for a reason, but it's typically because of a decision that we made, and we are where we are right now in this current day, in the situation, whatever we're in, because of decisions we made in the past. And if you add actions or inaction that took place after the decisions that were made, now you have your present situation. Now, this isn't saying that this isn't like one of those videos where I'm just going to bitch at you for making shitty decisions for your entire life and not do anything about it. But it is going to mention the fact that if you did make what you feel are shitty decisions, you need to change how you look at them. All right. All decisions that we made, good, bad, or indifferent, are lessons. All right. Some are lessons that awesome, we're going to keep that because it worked. Others are lessons that, you know what, I'm not going to do that again. All right. And that is something that everybody needs to keep in mind, because what we don't want to do is we don't want to end up dwelling on the decisions we made in the past, which were shitty. Our shitty decisions put us where we are. They have made us who we are today, right? We know now that we're not going to do that one thing we did 10 years ago. Or if it worked, you know what? I may keep that in the back of my mind because it worked. I may lean on that another time if I may need to. All right. So that's important. That's an important distinction that we need to make. So what do you do, right? You look at the decisions that you made that got you to today. So what about tomorrow? Well, tomorrow has to do with the decisions you're going to make right now. All right. And I think that's also important to know, because our past does not dictate our future. And I think I've said that numerous occasions on these things over the past few weeks. A lot of people want to dwell on the past and they want to live in the regret instead of living the, you know what, I can come back from that. Everything that we've done, at one point you were a victim of your own decisions, right? But today you are a survivor of those decisions. Why? Because, well, you didn't die, you made it. Things may have been hard at one point because of what you did. However, they don't have to continue to be hard. Why? Because all you need to do is make the decision not to do that again, or make the decision to change your present circumstances. All right. So everything that I talk about has to do with vision and knowing where you want to go and where you want to be, right? The end result, thinking with the end in mind. How do we start today? Well, first we have to decide. All right, we have to decide what we want to do. We have to decide that we no longer want to be where we are, and we want to do something better, be better, improve, expand. And if you're already doing great, awesome. If you want to do better and you want to expand, well, you know what? The same principles apply. You still have to figure out where you want to go, where you're going to be, and you have to decide to take the first step. Now, some of you may be thinking, all right, that's easier said than done. I mean, it is, but not really. The hardest part of anything that we do in life is based on that first decision, deciding to actually do it. Sometimes we have to go through some self-reflection, think about where we've been, why we were there, and where we are now. And we need to own up to fear. I'm scared that if I do this, it's not going to work. Oh well, you got to get over that, because if you live in fear, you're never going to advance. You're never going to go further than you are today if you're scared of taking the chance. So that's where that decision comes into play. You have to decide that I may be scared, but I'm going to act anyway. And I forgot, a long time ago, you've got the two wolves. Which one are you going to feed? Of course, you're going to feed the courage wolf. And everybody has different wolves. I still think that the courage wolf is one that you need to be feeding on a regular basis. Yes, there's no such thing as courage without fear, though. I think you have to remember that. Acknowledging the fear and getting past it doesn't mean you're putting it to the side. It's gone. I'm acting anyway. I'm scared, but I'm going forward, despite being scared. All right. Because, and the quote is, courage is not the opposite of fear, but it's action while also being scared, right? And I can't remember the exact quote or who said it, but you get the gist. And that first decision to do that is very important. And realizing that our past decisions don't dictate where we go from here, but our present decisions and actions followed by those decisions do. So that's what I wanted to talk about today, because I see a lot of things in the world where blame is set outside of the person, the individual, in business and love and life, right? It's never their fault. It's someone else's fault. But at the end of the day, everything that we do starts with a decision that we allowed to happen, that we made, and the actions that followed. And we need to keep that in mind when we start looking at where life has put us and where we are. I'm not saying that there's not people out there that are intentionally wronging others, right? They made a decision to wrong you and you did suffer for it. However, at the end of the day, you learned a lesson. You decided to trust that individual. Now you know better. But once we can own our own decisions, for the most part, we can get over it and move on and better ourselves and never relive the same decisions that were bad in the first place. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say today. I know, like I said, I was out Monday. I should make this longer, but I know that the attention span of society today is typically around 10 to 15 minutes. Anything longer than that, and all you hear is the Peanuts teacher in the back. Wah, 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 wah. So Friday, I'll do a little bit longer, and I'll do the review of the book that's sitting over my shoulder. I'm actually looking forward to doing that review. It's a really good book. So with that, I'll leave you with this.